Hello viewers, welcome back to my channel, or if you've never watched any videos from my channel before, welcome. This is the first video of my first series called the Roman series. So for this first part of the series, we'll be learning about the 7 kings of Rome, who ruled Rome from 753 BC to 509 BC. And the first, yet I think most well known of them all, was named Romulus, who was the founder of Rome. So why don't we learn a little bit about him? So like I said earlier, there were 7 kings of Rome in total. But before I move on, I would like to talk about how the kings were appointed in the first place. Of course, after the death of Romulus. And this is how it would go. After the death of a king, Rome would enter into a period called the Interrex, in which, for a couple of days, a magistrate would temporarily occupy the throne of Rome. During those few days, he would look to find a man worthy enough to become the next king of Rome. When he finally found somebody, the appointment process would then enter into another period called the Cornitia Curiata, in which, after he presented the man to the Senate could either accept or refuse the nomination. If the Senate did accept the nomination, a priest would be appointed to consult with the gods to see if the gods had favor with this man, and if so, their new king would ascend the throne. Now, regardless of all the information available about the 7 kings of Rome, historians have actually had, and still do have, a hard time discerning what's factual and what's mythical. This simply comes in due with the fact that most of the evidence comes from these 2 writers, one named Alpharnacus of Dionysius, and the other Titus Livius. You know, for every picture I found about, for every picture I found of Titus Livius, he always seemed to be smiling. So let me tell you how Romulus and his twin brother Remus came into existence. They were the sons of a Vestal virgin named Rhea Silvia, who was the daughter of a king named Numitor of Alba Longa. But since the twins were a result of an extramarital affair with supposedly the god of war, Ares, King Numitor's younger brother, Emilius, who had denounced him earlier, ordered, or at least asked a favor of King Numitor to dispose of the 2 boys. And so, Romulus and Remus, his mother, ordered some servants to put the 2 boys in a basket to float downstream of the Tiber River, which they were predicted to drown in. But miraculously, they ended up in a trough of the river, next to a tree called Fius Rutulus, or something like that. Well, anyway, the tree that they landed next to would eventually become a very sacred tree in Rome. And so, as the story goes, the 2 twin boys were found in the river trough by a female wolf and a woodpecker. After a couple days, a farmer and his wife, well, the farmer was named Faustulus, I forgot what his wife's name was, they found the boys, and raised them up until they were to become men. And so, Romulus and Remus grew, became men, and then looked for a place to found a city. And so, to do this, as in tradition at the time, they looked for either natural or supernatural signs and wonders. In both cases, they both saw a huge flock of vultures flying over a piece of land. The problem was, they saw these natural signs in 2 different places at different times. I don't really know how the story goes, but you know, Romulus kills Remus. Some say Remus tried to climb over the wall of where Romulus was building the city where he saw the vultures flying over the piece of land. And so, you know, if that's the case, I imagine it went a little like this.
No, you get out!
And so after Romulus built his city called Rome, he noticed that the population of males far outweighed the population of females. And so Romulus, being an aggressive man, decided to steal a woman from a neighboring city. They were known as the Sabine women. After he conquered the neighboring city, Romulus grew fond of their king, Titus Tatius, who Romulus, I don't know if this is true, but Romulus supposedly appointed him to a position away from kingship within Rome. And then, on a very mysterious and very pathetic night, Romulus disappeared in a storm. Just like that, the king of Rome. Now, this may be myth, but it may be true, you know? If I was a citizen of Rome, oh man, my reaction would have gone a little like this.
What the hell? Oh my God, no way.
Well, I guess that's the end. I got 6 more videos to go on the 7 Kings of Rome, so stay tuned for that if you want to learn any more about these dudes.